What do you think? Do you think Malmo will change the way of playing compared to the first game?
I don't know. It's a difficult question for me to answer. I'm sure their manager has a game plan that he believes in, and he's going to try and execute it at Ibrox. My focus is very much on Rangers, on what we want to do and how we want the game to look. So I haven't really given it a thought. We have to be ready to adapt to whatever tactics and game plan Malmo have. But because they're on the back of a positive result in the first leg, I don't expect too many changes in that department.
I'm sure it was a coincidence, but today there are 4 Scottish newspapers who've all got articles in claiming that the squad has got difficulty coping with large crowds. Is that something you've ever taken into consideration in your time here?
Not really. I haven't given it a thought. I don't really listen to outside noise, in all honesty, Mark. Listen, we haven't played in front of a full house at Ibrox for a long time, so I'm sure their opinions are maybe from some time ago. I'm not too sure who said it or where it's come from, but it doesn't really interest me. We're really looking forward to a full house. We've spoke about it for a long time, and our fans have been patient on the outside, desperate to come in and watch us. I called on them after last week's game. There was a big turning point in the final moments of the game. And I've called for the Ibrox crowd, so I'm in no doubt that they'll turn up. They'll be full of passion and full of support for the boys. We've got to go and give them a performance to match that.
Hi Stephen, could we get an injury update ahead of tomorrow night?
Yeah, really positive, David. In the first leg, we wasn't too satisfied with the options we had throughout the squad. We put a strong team out, but in terms of experienced options that we could throw at the game, we were pretty limited for different reasons. But more positive news on that case. So Hadji will return to the squad. He's come through a training session today. Leon Balogun's fit and available. And obviously his suspension's up, so that's a big positive as well. Fashion Sakala is fit and will be involved in the squad. Obviously Alfredo, we named him in the squad. Obviously he wasn't available for the first game, but he will be for this game. So a real positive update. The only ones that are missing are obviously Katic and Jack, and the suspensions that everyone's aware about.
Hi Stephen, just right. Reflecting on the last couple of games, basically you mentioned after them that some of the performances and from some of the players weren't the level that you wanted it to be. Just have you managed to, between you and the guys, put your finger on why the performances have dipped? I mean, could it be a case maybe some of these players are living on the successes of last season and they now have to focus on this season?
Listen, I think we need to give the players a chance before we judge them. In terms of the loaded part of your question, in terms of are they living off next year, or I think time will tell in the coming weeks and months. I think we're 2 games in terms of the league, and obviously 1 game in terms of Europe. It's still very early days. We won't use any excuses. The last 2 performances haven't been to our level that we've set, certainly over the last 12 months, but that's on me and us as a group, and we'll deal with the criticism and the negativity coming our way. That's what you have to do. But what I would say is we only need 1 performance to light the fire again. I think in terms of our league domestic results, it was the first defeat in 40, if I'm correct. And our Ibrox form in terms of European games have been pretty strong. So I expect a good performance tomorrow, and we can quite flip the mood of the previous 7 days with a real strong performance and the result that we want. We can change it pretty quickly, and that's the opportunity we have tomorrow.
If I could just add to that, you mentioned relighting the fire. I mean, a full house at Ibrox, that's going to be a spectacle and an occasion to do that, I suppose.
Without a doubt, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it full and noisy and a support that is with us from the first kick to the last. And if it do, it'll be a massive help to myself and the team. But as I said before, we've got to play our part. I've got to get the game plan right. I've got to make sure I get the decisions right, and my team have got to back me up with that game plan and go and deliver. If we do, and you get a full Ibrox roaring, and you get a team capable of performing at our level, it's going to be an interesting night.
The away goal is removed. How will that affect game plan, Stephen?
Well, obviously, our away goal is not as important as it might have been some time ago. I think it's important we try and keep a clean sheet from our point of view. But we have got to be aggressive. We've got to go and score goals. the way the scoreline sits, we have to take the game to Malmo and be aggressive and be positive. But obviously our away goal is different this season, but we knew that before the game. It is what it is. But in most games, when we've been set a challenge, certainly in Europe against big teams, important teams, these boys have delivered more often than not. So I have confidence we can do it again.
Steven, how much do you think that your European experience will be a key factor to progress tomorrow?
Well, I don't think it guarantees you a result. I think you can always tap into experience and try and use it to learn and grow and try and tap into the positives from previous occasions and remember that we have done it before. That gives you confidence and belief. We've got more options available to us in this game, whether it's 90 minutes or 120 minutes. We have more things to throw at the game and bigger and better options to pick from, even though it was only 7 days ago. So I'm really excited. We've got really big respect for this Malmo team, but it's a game that we're really ready for, and I believe that there's a performance waiting. I'm confident.
Steven, you mentioned that it was your first league defeat in 40 games, but how much can you use that to spur the players on tomorrow night?
I think the players know, Laurie, we know that we didn't do ourselves justice at the weekend and we've took responsibility for that. So the players know. I don't think I'll need to tap into that. We know we haven't had a fantastic week, 2 separate competitions, but it was really interesting how the game finished against Malmo. The body language of both sets of players flipped in one moment. So we're going into Ibrox tomorrow in a real positive place. We'll pick the league form situation up when we go back into domestic competition on Friday. But for me, this is a game in isolation. We need to go in with the correct mentality and the right focus. I'm not sure the performance or the result at Dundee will have any impact. Only that I know that I've got a group of players that will want to react from there.
Hi Stephen.
Hello.
As a player and now as a manager, you've been successful at blocking out the noise from external sources. How important is that for you and the rest of the squad to take in tomorrow night's game and its magnitude?
Yeah, I think when you're involved at a club of this magnitude with expectation and demands, I think it'd be very naive and unhelpful to listen to external noise, whether that be from support, whether it be from the media, whether it be from afar or anyone. It doesn't make any sense to listen to outside noise. We have a lot of belief and confidence in each other. We've had a couple of results that are not ideal and unwanted, but as I said to you, we're 90 minutes or 120 minutes away from flipping that and setting the fire and kick-starting our season and resetting. So I'm not overly concerned with the external noise, even though we don't really listen to it anyway.
Hello, Steven.
Hello.
So you have 1 goal up to Malmo. What will be important in your game plan to beat Malmo?
I don't think I'm going to give you my game plan, Matthias, as much as I respect you. I don't think that makes sense to tell the whole of Sweden what my plan is and what I plan to do tactically. But if you're at the game, you'll see it with your own eyes, and hopefully you'll enjoy our performance.
Steven, you played on Saturday night just like Malmo did. How well do you think you're coping with this very tight schedule you have right now?
Yeah, we actually played on Saturday morning, or early afternoon if you like, 12:30. This is a schedule that we've been used to for the 3 seasons I've been here at Rangers, and hopefully it's not going to change because we want to play in as many games as we can. It means you're doing well, it means you're successful. We don't want to be in a situation where we're out of Europe and there's no cup games, because that means you play 1 game a week, and all my players love playing. I love coaching in games, so I want to be involved in as many games as possible. We've got no complaints in terms of the schedule.